Baby, look, this one right here, wow, has me tearing up. The love of God is just beyond our own comprehension. There are so many powerful nuggets in this movie. Number one, the importance of being led by the Spirit of God as it pertains to evangelism. I love how the guy who played the Holy Spirit says he runs the shots, okay? And there is a time to evangelize online, and there is a time to evangelize in person. Brings me back to the moment I was going to someone's house. They invited me there. They said, I don't even know why I called you. This is embarrassing. And their house was just in total disarray. There was rabbit feces all over the house, and everything was just, like I said, was just out of order. I went in like, Holy Spirit, what am I supposed to do? Why, am I here? What does she want me to do? She doesn't even know what she wants me to do. And the Holy Spirit gave me something so simple. Start cleaning. Sometimes we think it's start preaching, start casting out devils, try to have some type of counseling session with them. And, the Lord says, start cleaning. And so I asked her, as I clean, can I use your radio to turn on some music? So I turned on worship music and I start cleaning. And as I start cleaning, naturally, the Lord began to give me a revelation, and I begin to say, as I am cleaning in the natural, God is going to be doing some things in the spirit. As things come together, God is going to cleanse. And, I began to tell her, and she just sat there crying. She said, I'm so sorry. I'm sorry. I said, stop apologizing. I never been in this person's house. The Lord is letting me know where to put things. What I didn't know where to put, I would ask her, and it was like she just sat on her couch and wept the whole time listening to the worship and singing. And after that, this person was an atheist too, okay? After this, she ended up asking to give her life to Christ and all of that. So I'm just like, God is amazing. And there's so many different instances. And what I also like about this is when we lean to our own understanding, as the young lady was in here, because she's like, okay, scripturally, this is what I'm supposed to do. Okay. You're telling me that, we know that bad company corrupts, good morals and all that other stuff. But it goes back to Jesus. Jesus never sat with sinners and tax collectors and all of that to conform to their lifestyle. It's because he said, listen, those who are well, those who aren't sick don't need a physician. Okay. Only the sick do. So I'm here to heal the sick, the sin sick. And so there are times where God will tell you to go places. Like I shared some time ago that God gave me a dream that was exposing the mandate upon my life. And in this dream, I went to a club. And of course, that's something that I would never do today. I'm not going to no club to party, a lounge, a bar, nowhere, like that. But in the dream, I had took this group. We went into a club. We weren't dressed inappropriately or anything like that. And when we went in, I was saying, okay, you go by the bar, you go by the speakers, you go by the DJ, you go by here, there. And so we were posted in different places in this club. And we were passing out tracts, things that talked about Jesus. Do you know Jesus? Do you know the Lord? And we begin to, just speak. And so over time, the attendance started to go down. And so they were like, oh, it's this group that's coming in here telling people about Jesus. They started losing money. They started losing, customers and all of this. So they were looking for us, but they couldn't find us because we didn't look like what they were going to expect. We had infiltrated this place. We came into a place where they expected us to stay in the church. They expected us to, but they never expected us to actually go in. And what the Lord was revealing to me was like the enemy's camp and spaces and places that they would never think that we would come to depopulate hell. Okay. Not just a club. It was a greater revelation. But this is what this reminds me of the unconventional ways that God will use us to evangelize, to reach a soul. And when he sends us, okay, and he leads us, we don't have to worry about being contaminated, because he's like, look, you've gotten to this place where you are sold out, you're fully surrendered, you're going based upon the leading of my spirit. And so you're going to do what I have called you to do. Another amazing thing about, being led by the Spirit of God and understanding, again, she wasn't going there to do what Debbie was doing. She was there on an assignment. And so another thing that blessed me was how it pointed out that she was praying in condemnation. How some believers are like, okay, why aren't I seeing things change? I know your word is real. I automatically thought about Moses, how God told him to speak to the rock, not to smite the rock, okay? Not to hit the rock, because God wanted the glory for this. And so in him doing it, God is still faithful to his word. So he still blessed the people, but that did not mean that he was pleased with Moses. And so in this film, her pride and, among other things, almost cost, and I won't say what cost the soul, because God can send another, but this young man's life could have not turned out the way that God desired. Even praying and speaking in tongues and sweating, and because while I'm sitting there, I'm like, God, really, do it take all this? Do it take all this? So, I love how they came back and showed, like, no, it don't. You have to be obedient to the full instructions. So this is just a powerful, powerful movie. It's a blessing. And it's so many different nuggets in here. But go ahead and share in the comments some takeaways that you received. Some moments that remind you of the times where God has sent you. And, have you really been obedient to that? Have you struggled in the some of the areas that the evangelist had struggled in when God spoke to you? Have you ever said in an argument with the Holy Spirit, I'm not supposed to do this. You wouldn't tell me to do that. This can't be God, because it's not. You're thinking that this, like, for instance, when I shared the dream, look, my liner and everything then kind of smudged because I literally was tearing up. But when I told them the dream that I had, which was literally a revelation of something greater, they was looking at me like, I don't know about that. This is ungodly. But it wasn't for them. It was for me. And some people hear things that God said and they're just like, nah, like she did in the movie, which I don't want to give it away, or something that God has told you to do. And you're just like, how is that going to serve your purposes? How is that going to draw people? And I think it's easy for me to do some things that and that's a whole nother conversation, because some people are calling profane things unconventional. Or they're calling some carnal things balance. But that's a whole nother conversation for another day. But, for me, even like the earrings or the styling or something like that, someone else would say that is absolutely irrelevant to the things of the kingdom. There's other things to be focused on. That's, to me, that is moving away from the purposes. You just need to say what you need to say and, really get right to it. But God has many ways of reaching and drawing. And so he will take the things that you do and make them a ministry, or he'll outright send you to do exactly what he wants you to do. That's why I love that he says, listen, to be led by the Spirit of God, he leads you. Every way that God desires to evangelize is needed, is necessary, but you have to be in tune with what he is speaking and what he is saying to know what to do in that moment. So yeah, let's talk about it. Share your thoughts in the comments after you watch the movie.